If you've been on TikTok for a while, you must have heard about a ton of Africans telling you that Europeans stole Africa's resources. Now, there's a lot to say about that. First and foremost,
you're insecure. When a European expresses their insecurities, believe them.
Most of these resources are still in Africa, and they're not being stolen by Europeans. They're actually being sold to Europeans by the African state leadership. Your own elites are robbing you. It's not us doing it. Not anymore.
This one who is courageous enough to come on land and express his thoughts and feelings should reveal to us what conversations they're having around the family table. They can see their future. It looks pretty dim. Pretty dark, actually, as a new dark age approaches. Now, which is it? Is it that African leaders are selling out resources, or international policies have been structured in such a way that as African people we've been condemned to net exporters of raw materials?
The real issue, of course, is why aren't Africans using their own resources to do things? Why does Mr. Beast have to go to Kenya to build water wells? Why didn't the Kenyan government do it themselves? I suppose the Kenyan government could have done it themselves. They just chose not to do it. Nigeria is now a country of almost 220 million people, the largest country in Africa. But they only produce about 10% of the electricity that a small country like Hungary. Hungary only has 10 million people, but they produce 10 times as much electricity as Nigeria does.
Which is it? Are African leaders selling out our own people? Or are they putting their foot down and using our mineral resources to sustain ourselves?
I mean, I know you want to have your Wakanda, right? But do you expect white people to give it to you? No, you're supposed to build it yourself.
Which is it? Are we using our resources to develop our military and our technology, so much so that we're a threat to future Western society?
Having said all this, it is of course obvious that we Europeans in the North need to prepare for a possible, potential African rise in terms of technology and therefore also in terms of military capacity. And that means we in Europe need to already start looking ahead and thinking ahead about how we are going to win the war against Africa, because there will be a future war between Europe and Africa.
Which is it? Are we preparing for war? Or are we just a bunch of incompetent morons who don't know what we're doing with our mineral development? Either Africa is selling out its own resources and we're incompetent, we don't know how to use them, or we're utilizing them to develop our own technology in our own military capacity. You can't have it both ways. But alas, when they express their insecurities, believe them. Then we won't be caught off guard, will we? We've been paying close attention to these people. Yes, indeed. Fellow brothers and sisters, prepare. Maybe he's a joker, maybe he's for real, who knows? We will find out. But one thing is fundamentally clear. Winter is coming. A new dark age is here. And like I've said before, this won't even be a war so much as a meat grinder on your behalf, you and your extinction level birth rates. See you on the other side.